Great. Hello. It's been a couple of years since I've done YouTube videos, but I'm back to use the shakiness. I'm having to use the camera on my computer while my camera battery charges. So we're going to have a fun mixture of some videos being in excellent quality and other videos being in a more grainy quality. But maybe it fits the situation that you're in right now, or maybe it fits what's going on for you. Maybe there's a more grainy quality to things, as the Seven of Cups wants to confirm the deck. This is going to be for, there's Pisces for March of 2023. We are going to kick it off with you guys since it is your month, and I want to see what's going on. So we're going to pull astrology cards to kind of see the overall themes that may be coming up for you within the season. We've got 4th house, 11th house, and then we have the sun. So we've got Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo here. Maybe there's some stuff that involves people of that sign in your life, or maybe there is elements of that in your chart. But there is going to be the light, I feel like, is going to be shining on your 4th and your, I said 11th house, I mean 7th. Excuse me. I just saw EVEN and assumed that it said 11th. So a lot of this is going to be about your roots and your relationships. And I think there's going to be a light shining on that for you this month. I feel like Aries is on the bottom of the deck here as well, so that could be relevant. I also think that it could be important to establish and really push for your identity outside of your roots and within your relationships. I think that's going to be a huge thing. I think there's going to be a lot of self-expression that you're going to be going through this month. I really think that you're going to want to embody truth. I think that you're going to be showing that through your relationships, whether that's business or personal. And I feel like there's just going to be a lot of thoughts and connection to family or around family, or even conversations around that. Like I said, the sun is going to be shining on that. But at the same time, I think the sun is going to be shining on your individuality. And I think it's going to be shining on who you are, who you've become, or who you want to be outside of those spaces. So there is this element of very strong independence. So maybe independence is a theme for you as well. But let's get into it and see what the cards have to say. With that 7 of Cups that was on the bottom of the deck, I do feel like it being a very Neptunian card and Pisces being ruled by Neptune, I do think there's this energy of like feeling like there's a really interesting gray area right now in your life, or feeling like there's a whole, like everything is just a gray area. It doesn't really feel like things are as tangible as you would like for them to be. Your dreams might be vivid because the 7 of Cups often indicates that to me. It also just might feel like there's so many directions that you could go in within life right now, or maybe there's a lot of things that are kind of requiring your attention right now, and you just feel pulled all over the place. So it could just make you feel very confused, or you feel very unsure of what it is that's being presented to you and how you want to operate within that thing. Okay, so the 4 cards we've got for you, we have the 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So like I said, family, roots, and connections and relationships are going to be very important to you this month. The cards that we've got that have come out are the 8 of Cups, the 2 of Cups, the Lover's card, and then the Judgment card. So we've got 2 major arcana at the end and 2 minor at the beginning. I feel like you have really big decisions this month to make around particular relationships in your life. If this isn't you being in a relationship, then it's about you thinking about relationship, and it's about you thinking about what kind of relationship you would like to have. I feel like in the 8 of Cups, there's something or many things that you've left behind. And I find it interesting that on the bottom of the deck, we started off with the 7 of Cups, and now we're moving into the 8. So there may be an energy of you needing to really disconnect from everything in order to understand something on a deeper level. When I look at the 8 of Cups, I often think about a person going on a journey to really understand where they're at emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically. It's kind of like, in many ways, I feel it's connected to the Hermit card. I think this was the beginning of the Hermit's journey. So maybe you're seeking out counsel, whether that's within yourself or through another person. But really, it's trying to get your emotions in order. I think there's a lot of things that you've left behind in the past. I think there are a lot of things that you had to disconnect from, especially things surrounding disappointments. Um, and I just feel like you needed that for your own emotional sanity and safety. I think there's something there where you really kind of had to trust your gut on this and trust your gut on what you were doing. I don't feel that this was necessarily forced. I think this was a choice. I feel like uh, you had to follow your feelings and you had to honor and acknowledge your feelings in this. And in doing that, I do feel like you have moved into more supportive connections or supportive spaces. I feel like that's going to be another thing for you this month. I think you're going to be connecting deeper with people or really finding that a lot of the conversations that you're going to be having really make you feel seen and understood. I think you're going to feel very emotionally supported in those spaces. I think you're going to feel very uplifted and healed by that to some extent, right? So maybe there's going to be conversations that you're going to be having with people, maybe even people connected to your past, because that Two of Cups, I mean, it is in the Eight of Cups for all intents and purposes. It is in the Eight of Cups somewhere in there. But I feel like you're going to be wanting to build upon better times and build upon better relationships. So once again, this comes back into the idea, the theme around what kind of relationship is it that you want? We do have Saturn moving into your sign later this month. So there might be a lot of focus in those areas. You may be trying to really understand what relationship is to you or how you would like relationships to be in your life. What is it that you need to change about how you approach relationships? What is it that could be better? What is it that you need to let go of? Um, but how do you want that to look? I think that's the biggest thing here. How do you want it to look? Because I feel like you've had plenty of connections in the Two of Cups that maybe were temporary connections in your life that did provide you with a lot of healing, even if you had to distance yourself from them, eventually. And I feel like you're really looking for that kind of higher love within the lovers. I think you want love that kind of feels faded in some way, especially with the Judgment card, where you just want to be connected to that kind of love that is powerful. I definitely think we're talking end game right now, right? When I look at the Ten of Cups and I look at the Lovers and the Judgment card, I think you're ready for the real deal. And maybe Saturn moving into Pisces is doing that for you. Maybe you're ready to settle down for real. Maybe you're ready to start a family, for those of you who want that. Maybe you're ready to create and establish something like, creating a home, creating a foundation that you can build upon with somebody. So these are going to be really important choices that you're going to be making moving forward. But I feel like it's requiring you to kind of unearth everything in the process. And I think there's already been a lot of unearthing here in that Eight of Cups. I already think there's been a lot that you've looked at and a lot that you've had to let go of. But when I look at Judgment, it's kind of like this trap door flying open and really having to reconcile with a lot of things before you move on through the world and into a new phase of life. So I feel like there's going to be a lot that you're looking at within your relationships. I think that there's going to be a lot that you're looking at with how you want to move forward. I think that you're kind of going to be making really, really, really big decisions. But I think that these are decisions that you need to make. And I think that these are decisions that ultimately truly are for your highest good. I mean, there also could be a very impactful or important relationship that's either entering your life at this time or just your central focus, because there are two angels in these cards. And so in some way, this does feel like these are really powerful healing connections. They really, really are. When I think about the angels in these cards, that's what they're doing. Like, not only are they healing you, but they're protecting you and they're guiding something in a very particular direction. So I either feel like there are relationships that are going to be healed at this time, or there's relationships that are coming into your life to provide a deeper level of healing, or at the very least to kind of lead you into a brand new direction in some way, whether that's within relationship, within your life, maybe even potentially within your career. But I think it's because it's time, right? I think it's kind of like that blaring wake up call where it's like the alarm is going off and you just can't ignore it anymore. So I think there's a lot that's going to be addressed here. Let's kind of do some clarifiers on that. See what we got going on. Clarify about Ace of Cups. Yeah, Eight of Cups is clarified by the Ace of Swords and the Lovers. So I do feel like you made some huge decisions when you decided to either cut things off or see the truth of things for what they were at the point in time that they were addressed. I think that you're getting the truth of what you want because of the things that you had to walk away from, or the way that you saw the truth was by whatever it was that you walked away from, you really saw how unhealthy it was for you, or you really saw how maybe the confusion or the murkiness of it all was not what you wanted. Because, like I said, I really feel like you're leaning into wanting more of an established, grounded, stabilized experience within relationships. So maybe there was a lot of fuzziness, maybe there was a lot of fogginess in your other relationships. And now you're really coming to this understanding that you want something real and you're not going to settle for anything less than that. Clarifying the Two of Cups, we actually have three that flew out here. We've got the Ace of Cups in reverse, the Two of Wands in reverse, and the King of Cups in reverse. I feel like part of this experience that you had, and maybe even part of the experience that you're having now, is really addressing when people kind of want to emotionally suck you dry. I feel like as a water sign, you guys are often very naturally intuitive, definitely in tune with your emotions, and definitely in tune with the emotions of others. So ultimately, you guys become beacons for people who want that. So I feel like you have kind of experienced a lot of lack of emotional reciprocity in your relationships. Like, I feel like even if you have met a lot of people who have helped you heal or have helped you connect to healing, and you them as well, I think that's very important. I think that where you're at right now is that you're looking back on the past, or you're looking at the relationships that really kind of only showed up as in a self-serving sense. They only show up when they're not feeling good, or they're only showing up when they're not doing well. They're only showing up when they need a little bit of a boost, or they're only showing up because of like the emotional instability that they're experiencing, and you provide them with some form of stability. So I feel like, once again, a lot of the choices and the things that you've done are really wonderful, because I feel like you're choosing to leave these things behind. I think you're choosing to not engage with these things anymore. Oops, wrong deck. Let's clarify the Lover's card. Okay. With the Lover's card, that's clarified by the 10 of Wands with the 9 of Swords in reverse and the Fool card. I feel like this has been a very long, tough road for you. And I feel like for the most part, you've always kind of felt like you're doing it alone. And I mean, I just think you're ready for something new. I think you've spent a lot of time where maybe you felt alone in some of your deepest and darkest moments, especially with the 9 of Swords in reverse. Maybe there were a lot of challenges that you experienced, or a lot of emotional upheaval that you experienced in your life, and things that kind of ultimately really haunted you and maybe caused you some form of distress. And I think you're ready to let that go. I think you're ready to put it down with that Fool card there and the 10 of Wands. I just think that you're ready to not do it alone anymore. And I think you're ready to really be open to what it means to allow someone to support you in that space. And I think really that's what you're looking for in your relationship. I don't think it's necessarily, I mean, we all want love, right? But I don't think it's necessarily just about that. Like, I feel like this is about finding a solid support system that you can rely upon. because I feel like you've been that for so many other people in your life. And I feel like that's always been this role that you have kind of been assigned in this life, right? Or maybe you accidentally assigned it to yourself and didn't even realize that you were doing that. But I feel like you're ready to like stop doing that. And I think you're ready to come into an experience where you allow someone to support you. And that's what you're looking for. The Judgment card. Want. Now with Judgment, we've got the Devil in reverse with the King of Swords, the Eight of Swords in reverse, and the Four of Cups. Now what's interesting here is I definitely think that part of what you're doing is I think you're actually approaching love in a very logical way. I think you're using a lot more of your mind, a lot more of your rationale, and I don't want to say less of your emotions, but I think you are. I think whatever it is that you've been through, you've kind of turned it all the way down. You've turned your emotional thing all the way down. And I think that you're more in favor of logic at this time. I think that you're really, I don't want to say testing people necessarily, but I think you're going to be very direct with people. And I think you're going to be very honest moving forward. I think that's part of this whole judgment thing with you tackling issues of the past. I also think that you're going to be tackling a lot of unhealthy connections that have been a part of your life, or unhealthy situations, whether that's speaking up on them, confronting them directly, or freeing yourself from that situation. Because with the Four of Cups, it's almost that thing of like, you're really tired of receiving the same thing over and over and over again, and it never being any different. It's always the same. And I think that you're pretty bored with that, which again is why I think you're in the King of Swords energy, because you're wanting to make sure that you don't experience that again. You're wanting to make sure that that's not what you're inviting into your life. So I definitely think you're going to be way more discerning moving forward. And overall, I just feel like in the month of March, Justice in reverse on the bottom of the deck, you're really going to be addressing situations in your life that were unjust or that felt as if you got the raw end of the deal. I think you're really addressing that. I think you're talking about it. I think you're opening up about it, regardless of if anybody is standing in front of you or not, or if the person who kind of put you through this is listening or not. But I think that you're ready to truthfully get what you deserve, get what you know you deserve. And I don't think you're going to settle for anything less than that. So March might be a month where you're doing this all across the board in all of your relationships and being very honest about where you stand in that, and being very honest about what you've gone through, and being very honest about how you're tired of that. So I think you're going to be setting some pretty excellent boundaries. And ultimately, I think that you are going to get closer to the thing that you desire within your relationships and within what you want as a result of doing this. So that's going to be it for you, Pisces. I hope you guys have a wonderful March. I do feel like even though a lot of this was speaking on relationships today, I want everybody to keep in mind that this also can be within business. So if you have found that you have often had very unhealthy relationships in business, I think that you're going to start seeing that you have a lot more support around you at this time, and you're going to be way more quick to address what it is that you need or deserve within those situations. So this isn't just about love. This is about everything. I'll see you guys next time.